Hey guys, welcome back here. We're going to do the Algebra 1 June 19th, 2019 exam as a review. So let's go ahead and get started. We are on part 1. And we're probably just going to do the first 15 right now because it's just easier to break up the videos this way. So let's go ahead and start. It says the expression w to the fourth minus 36 is equivalent to. So this is a difference of perfect squares. I could recognize that by having an exponent above my variable with a minus and just a constant there. So the trick was just to go ahead and take the square root of both, knowing that we're going to have opposite signs in the parentheses. Okay. So we're going to have a plus and a minus, opposite signs. The square root of w to the fourth is w squared. And the square root of 36 is 6. So the answer is choice 4. So what if you didn't know that? You could actually go ahead and FOIL each one of these to see which one would work. And, well, let's do that real fast if you didn't know. So this is choice 4. And we go ahead and FOIL. First, outers, inners, last. And I notice that my middle terms can cancel out. So you're left with w to the fourth minus 36. So two ways to do that. If you knew right off the bat, it's more simpler, but it's still definitely doable. Let's go ahead and number 2. If f of x equals 4x plus 5, what is the value of f negative 3? So we're going to plug in negative 3 for f. So we're going to have 4 times negative 3 plus 5. This is negative 12. And that's going to give you negative 7. Which relationship is not a function? So I'm looking here, and this one will pass the vertical line test. Remember, the vertical line test is no matter where you draw your vertical line, it only hits it once. So we know that is a function. We're looking for what is not a function. Over here, we want to take a look to see if any part of my x's are repeating, and they are not. They're all different. So we know that is a function. So we know that's not it. If we look at choice 2, this looks like a linear equation, and it is. If I subtract 3x, you're left with 2y equals negative 3x plus 4 divided by 2. So y equals negative 3 halves x plus 2, and that is definitely in y equals mx plus b form, so we know that's a line. Lines are functions, so we know that's not. So over here, I notice that this is repeating. Functions are supposed to be 1 to 1. This one we have 2. 2 is going to both a and b, so we know this one is not the function. Okay, number 4. When compared to the graph of f of x, the graph of g of x is. So they want to know what happened between here and here. And a few ways we can do this. I'm actually going to go ahead and plug that into the graphing calculator because I could actually see what's going on then. Okay, so I'm just going to erase everything in it. Let's plug everything in. We have f of x being the x minus 2 squared plus 4, and over here we'll have the x minus 5 squared plus 4. And when I hit the graph button, I see that first one is right here. Now see what happens with the second one. So the second one looks like it went to the right a total of 3 spots. So that's what happened. It shifted to the right. So there it is, choice 2. Number 5. Students were asked to write 6x to the fifth plus 8x minus 3x to the third plus 7x to the seventh in standard form. Shown below are 4 student responses. So they show Ann, Bob, Carrie, and Dylan. Which student is correct? So standard form means the highest exponent has to go first. The highest exponent that I see is x to the seventh. Then I should have, so this one should be first. This one should be second. This one should be third. And then fourth. And Ann is the only one that showed that. So it is Ann. Okay. Number 6 says the function f is shown in the table below. Which type of function best model is given? So we have the x at 0, 1, 2, 3. And our function going from 1 to 3 to 9 to 27. So it's going up pretty fast. So how do I go from 1 to 3? I'm multiplying by 3. Then I multiply by 3 again. So this is consistently multiplying by 3. And if I'm multiplying consistently by the same number, that is exponential. Choice 1. If it was linear, I would be adding. Okay? So I want to make sure that, see if I add, I'm only adding 2, then I'm adding 6, then I'm adding a bunch more. It's all different. So I know if I multiply by that same number, it is exponential. Moving on. Number 7, which expression results in a rational number? So remember, rational numbers are numbers that terminate or is a repeating decimal. So if I multiply the square root of 2 times the square root of 18 in my calculator, it gives me the answer of 6. 6 is a rational number because it terminated. There's nothing after the 6. So it's choice 1. Okay, number 8 says a polynomial function is graphed below. So we give this squiggle here. Which function could represent the graph? So again, this is going to be a graphing calculator question. I'm going to go to my graphing calculator and I'm going to plug in each choice to see which one matches. I'm going to tell you right now the answer is choice 3. And I'm going to prove that to you by plugging in the x minus 1 times the x squared minus 4. Hit the graph button. And let's see if it matches here. And it does. You see the swoop just before it hits coming back down. So those two match. That's why it's choice 3. Number 9. When solving p squared plus 5 equals 8p minus 7, Kate wrote p squared plus 12 equals 8p. The property she used was. So what did she do? Okay. Looks like the 7 disappeared, and what happened was she added 7 to both sides. When you add 7 to both sides of the equal sign there, that is the addition property of equality. Choice not, or for number 9 is choice 4. Okay, number 10. David wanted to go to an amusement park ride. A sign posted at the entrance read, "You must be greater than 42 inches tall and no more than 57 inches tall for this ride." Which inequality would model the height x required for the amusement park ride? So it says you must be greater than 42 inches. So it can't be equal to, it has to be strictly greater than, and no more than 57 inches, which means you're allowed to be 57 inches. So which one is showing that is choice 1. You gotta be, x has to be greater than 42, but it could also be equal to 57. Number 11. Which situation can be modeled by a linear function? So I'm looking at the population of bacteria triples every day. Tripling every day means you're multiplying by 3, and we already proved ourselves through the other question, when you continue to multiply by that same number, that's an exponential, not a linear. So we know it's not choice 1. It says the value of a cell phone depreciates at a rate of 3.5% per year, or each year. So again, you are multiplying by that 3.5% to depreciate. So again, that is not going to be linear. And the music park allows 50 people to enter every 30 minutes. So I'm adding 50 each time. So since I'm adding 50 each time, that's probably going to be my answer. Let's see, choice 4. It says a baseball tournament eliminates half of the teams after each round. So that means you're dividing by 2 each time. So I'm dividing. That is not linear. So we know it is choice 3. Okay, moving on. Jenna took a survey of her senior class to see whether they preferred pizza or burgers. The results are summarized in the table below. Of the people who preferred burgers, approximately what percentage were female? So of the people who preferred burgers, so these are the people that preferred burgers, what percentage were female? So it's going to be 26 over the total of those who preferred burgers. So that's going to be 68. And that's going to give you approximately 38.2. So it's choice 2. Okay, 13. When 3a plus 7b is greater than 2a minus 8b is solved for a, the result is. So I want to get a by itself. So I'm going to rewrite this. 3a plus 7b greater than 2a minus 8b. Okay, so I'm going to want to get a's by itself. I'm going to move these a's over here. So subtract 2a. So I'm left with a plus 7b greater than negative 8b. Okay, now I'm going to subtract 7b on both sides. A is greater than negative 15b. And that gives me choice 4. Okay, 2 more and we're going to stop. It says 3 functions are shown below. Which statement is true? Okay, this probably isn't fitting on the screen, I'm assuming. So let's see here. Here it looks like we have a max at 1. So for C, I know we got a max of 1. Over here, this is a linear function. So this doesn't have a min or a max. And this, since I know if I were to FOIL, that is going to have, this is going to be a Palabra as well, which will have a min or a max. So let's see if I plug that in what it looks like. Let's clear that out. We got x plus 2. And then x plus 6. If I graph that, that looks like it's going to have a min. It looks like that's min. Let's go to the table. See if it'll let me here. I'm still thinking. That's going to have a min at negative 4. Okay, so if I look at my choices, I see that choice A, B has a minimum and C has a maximum, and that is true. Okay, 15. Nikki's sister is 7 years less than twice Nikki's age A. The sum of Nikki's age and her sister's age is 41. Which equation represents the relationship? Alright, so we have Nikki's age is A, and her sister's age is 7 less than twice. So 7 less than twice of A. That's going to be 2A minus 7, right? 7 less than twice the age. And it says the sum of Nikki's age and her sister's age is 41. So I want to add them together. So it's Nikki, which is A, plus her sister is 41. So that is going to be choice 2. Alright guys, we're going to continue with the rest of part 1 on the next video. So if you want to click it now, go ahead. If you want to take a quick rest, I don't blame you. So I'll see you in a bit.